How's it going, guys? Welcome back to VHS Reviews. On today's video, we're going to talk about Godfather 3. More specifically, the two different cuts of Godfather 3. The theatrical cut and the Death of Michael Corleone cut, DMC for short. Now, what can I say about Godfather that hasn't already been said? It's a classic, practically a perfect film. And the sequel, Godfather 2, I don't know how Coppola did it, but is even a more perfect film. And unfortunately, there's a black sheep in the franchise that people barely talk about, which is Godfather 3. And with good reason, because the movie's trash. It's horrible. It's disgusting. I hate almost everything about it. It was just a headache to watch. To be honest, I've only seen it once as a kid, didn't remember any of it. But then when the new cut came in, I wanted to buy the theatrical cut and the new cut so I can compare them both. I did exactly that. The differences are noticeable, but are the differences groundbreaking? See, that's what I want to talk about. Because these two cuts have very different feels to it, but they don't really change the plot, which is unfortunately one of the problems that this movie has. Well, both of these movies have. I'm gonna divide my complaints about Godfather 3 in three sections, which is the romantic subplot. I'm not gonna say the word because I don't want this video to be, taken down. The runtime and Sophia Coppola. I don't know why. I'm gonna start with the runtime. Now, even though the theatrical cut isn't that long to begin with, unfortunately, the movie has so much filler that even though the runtime is not that long, it just feels very long because there's just so much happening. There's so many unnecessary scenes, and at least in my experience, it felt like I was watching a 3-hour movie. And as someone who loves watching movies with long runtimes, this movie just felt unnecessarily long, and it just made the experience so much worse. But thankfully, this new cut really cut a lot of that unnecessary, filler. And it really makes the experience better because since it's a shorter runtime, the movie becomes more digestible. But again, it doesn't cut a lot of the things that it needed to cut, which is the second thing I'm going to talk about. Sophia Coppola. Now, Sophia Coppola is an extraordinary filmmaker, but as an actress, she's on the same level as Tommy Wiseau.
She was sitting, drinking her coffee, and she was so beautiful. And I say hi to her. That's how we met.
I'm not even joking.
Hi, Vincent. I remember you.
She's that bad. But, even though in the theatrical cut there's a lot of scenes of Sophia Coppola's acting, this new cut actually cuts a lot of it out. Which, makes her character more digestible, I think. I mean, her acting is still horrible, but at least she doesn't have that many scenes in it. So that's a win. At least for me, it's a win. Because her acting in the movie was so atrocious that I don't know how the decision was made. The only explanation I have is probably that her father, Francis Ford Coppola, forced her to do it. But it was just such a headache seeing her, and it was but it's not nearly as bad as the main thing that I hate about Godfather 3, which is the romantic subplot.
I'll always love you.
Love somebody else.
Yeah. Now, I'm not someone who attacks a movie for tackling a taboo subject. And this movie does tackle a taboo subject, but the problem that I have with this is that the movie kind of downplays the relationship between Coppola and Andy Garcia's character because they're related, and Garcia's character is relatively older, if I'm not mistaken. And when Michael Corleone finds out about it, he just says that it's dangerous. It's wrong. And it's dangerous. But it's like they don't elaborate as to why it's wrong and dangerous. And it just feels like the only reason Michael has a problem with it is because Andy Garcia is a thug, but not because, you know, they're related. It's just they never acknowledge it. It was just so weird. Even Kate, when she says something, oh, our daughter's in love, and he just says, I know, it's dangerous. And they don't talk about it ever again. It's just a thing that happens. And the movie, instead of making it seem wrong, for some reason the movie makes it seem Shakespearean somehow.
The things I'm going to be a part of, you can't be around. After tonight, you won't see me anymore.
And it's just so weird, because the characters, in no way do the characters think that what they're doing is wrong.
I missed you all this time.
I miss you too, Casa.
I love you, cuz.
I love you too, Casa.
Okay? The only reason they broke up in the movie is not because they're related. It's because Andy Garcia was giving a choice, either be a thug or date my daughter. But you can't do both. And it's like, that's the reason why they broke up? It's just so weird. Yeah, I mean, even thinking about it now makes me almost pull my hair, because it was just such a weird decision. And unfortunately, this new cut did not cut any of that out. So unfortunately, you know, the worst thing about the movie is still there, which unfortunately doesn't make the movie on the same level as Godfather 1 and 2. It's still better than the theatrical cut, though. I wasn't able to rate it because Letterboxd didn't enter the movie in it, so I couldn't. But I would give it 3 stars, which might not seem a lot to you, but it is when you compare it to the original cut. And just not on the same level as Godfather 1 and 2, because it can't be on the same level. But still, one thing I can say about the movie is that at least it tried to do something different, which is, you know, something that can be seen as commendable, because he could have just retread everything he did at Godfather 1 and 2, but Coppola just decided to do something different. And it is different, but unfortunately, not a lot of what happened works. But one main thing I like about this new cut is that it really cuts a lot of the first and second act, and it sort of rushes towards the third act in the opera sequence, which to me, that is the only part of Godfather 3 that is on the same level as the first 2 movies, in my honest opinion. You know, you can just enjoy that scene and just forget about everything else.
I love you too, Casa.
Now, the question is, should you buy this new cut of Godfather 3? Yeah, you should. I mean, if not, at least watch it, because it's actually better. But should you buy this movie since this movie exists? I can't answer that question. The only reason I wanted to buy both is because I want to be able to say I own all of the Godfather movies. And as you can see, I haven't treated this one with respect. I mean, you can look at how wrinkled all of this is, while this one is clean and pristine, which shows how much respect I have for both movies. None. Some. I just think that you should watch these 2 movies and, compare your experiences with them, because the ads for this new cut try to play it off as, oh, this is a new experience, and they're right, it is a new experience, but not the new experience they make it out to be, because they make it out to be as if this is a completely new cut that changes a lot, and it really doesn't change a lot. It just, cuts a lot of the fat that this movie has, and cuts a lot of Sophia Coppola's acting, and it just rushes towards the best part of the movie, and it's worth watching just because of that, because you gotta understand, this is a new cut of an old film, so give it a chance. Personally, I found it fun watching both movies, and if you're someone who, enjoys, comparing movies, then, this is a fun experiment. I don't think I can say any more. Personally, yeah. Basically, to sum it up, better, worse, still not by much, but still worth watching. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and see you in the next one.